Welcome into the Thunder basketball universe. This is such an exciting day. We are coming to you live from the Oklahoma City Contemporary Arts Center in downtown OKC. This is the site of the Thunder's introductory draft press conference. So we get a chance to talk to all of the Thunder's draft picks this season, starting with the one and only Nikola Topić, who is joining us now. Nikola, welcome to Oklahoma City.
Thank you very much.
I see you already have the Thunder uniform on. How's that feel right now?
Amazing, unreal, unreal.
An NBA jersey. I mean, this has got to be a lifelong dream.
Yeah. For sure, one of my childhood dreams. It's just incredible. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the jersey, number 44. Is there a story behind the number?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
And just as you've gotten here, you're trying to pick out your threads. I know you're probably staying in a hotel or something right now.
Yep.
What are some first things for you of this is what I need to do to get myself ready to be here and be living here?
Rest.
Yeah.
Obviously, after this 2 days draft, airplanes, interviews, and all that stuff, traveling from team to team. I used those 2 days as a rest, and now I want to explore the city, explore the people, culture, food, and everything. So yeah, I'm ready to go.
You mentioned in your press conference that you got a chance to go to the arena, actually inside Paycom Center, look around. What was that like, getting a chance to walk in there for the first time?
I mean, it was great. Obviously, when I was younger, I watched KD, Russ, Harden, and all of that. Later, CP3, Paul George, Melo, playing in this arena. It's electric during the playoffs, and really wanted to experience that. I can go through an NBA arena and see the locker room, see the offices, see how everything works here. So, I mean, it's really incredible.
You're going to get a whole year of doing that also, and something that really benefited Chet Holmgren when he had a year, a guy, Nick Collison, who's a longtime member of the organization as well. Understanding that you are probably most likely going to have an entire year to just learn the NBA, how beneficial do you think that will be for you moving forward when you turn 19 and 20?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure, that has bad things and good things, but I think it's more positive and good things there than it's negative. So I always try to look not just this situation, any situation in life. I try to look at a positive way, and this one too. So obviously, it's bad that I'm going to miss the season, but that have some benefits that I'll be preparing 1 year for an NBA with just lifting weights, nutrition. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure I'll be healthy and more ready than in a year to start playing full power than now.
It might not seem like it, and I just want to remind our viewers, you're 18 years old. You sound so mature. It's kind of hard to remember that.
Yeah.
But as an 18-year-old, as a young guy, joining a relatively young team in the NBA, how does that feel for you, knowing you'll probably be able to relate to these guys pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. In previous teams, I didn't have much players like my age. So they were much older, with kids, with wives. So they didn't had that time to spend that I have. So that would be for sure one of the probably best things here, that we're able to spend time together off the court and to meet, to share thoughts, share everything.
You played in the Euro League. You played in the Adriatic League. Obviously, being from Serbia, there's obviously something in the water in Serbia these days because so many incredible basketball players coming out of there. What's going on? Do you have any idea?
They always say that Serbia is a basketball country.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, since way before. So I think that's just it. Good program and good youth categories, good clubs. Good coaches working on fundamentals, on everything. So yeah, I think basically good program.
Were there Serbian players that you really looked up to when you were a kid?
Of course, Miloš Teodosić is one for sure. I mean, I had a chance to play with him last year and to meet him, and that was incredible to me. I was watching him in national team, how he fought there in CSKA Moscow, then in NBA league. So it was really a pleasure to meet him, and not just him. Every player on that team, Mitrovic, Nedovic, Lazic, our captain. These were just so incredible. I met them a long time ago, but now we really got to spend time together, to practice, to chat with each other, to travel. So it's been a great experience, and I'm really grateful for that.
Speaking of Serbia being basketball country, we know that your dad also very well versed in Serbian basketball. For those who might not know, what role did he play in your basketball journey?
Yeah, he was a very important role in my basketball journey. I mean, he taught me basically everything I knew of basketball. He shared that love of basketball to me, and since young age, there was always a basketball in our house. I was kicking it, shooting it, always a hoop, always that kind of stuff. So yeah, he's been a very big part of all of this, and I owe him a lot of gratitude.
Well, clearly got you very far. You're here in a Thunder uniform with us today, and we are so looking forward to the day we get to see you out there on the floor. Welcome to Oklahoma City.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, we are now joined by none other than Dillon Jones. Dillon, when we first saw you out there, you weren't wearing a Thunder uniform. You were wearing a suit. Now you're in this Thunder uniform. I can only imagine a dream come true. What's going through your head right now?
It's a great feeling. Obviously, this whole thing honestly still doesn't even feel real in a lot of ways, but I'm excited to be here, and I'm thankful to be wearing this jersey and things like that. So thankful to be here and can't wait to get started.
Jersey number 3.
Yep.
Any story behind that, and just how does it feel to be able to take a picture of yourself, send it to your family and friends, and say, I've got a real NBA jersey?
Right. Yeah. The number 3 is really important in my family. Our brother's best friend. My brother wears the number 33. He passed away when he was in high school, and my brother wore that number to honor him. And when I seen the number 3 available, understanding what that number meant to everyone where I'm from, and everyone knows why I got the number, and it's a dope feeling to be able to display it on the NBA floor, and you might as well have a meaning behind it when you get the number, right? So I'm thankful to have it, and it was crazy that it was available, but I'm thankful to have it.
Speaking of your brother, someone that you mentioned in the press conference who seemed to play a massive role in your basketball journey and also your life. Can you speak to kind of how he was able to kind of shape where you are today?
Yes. Growing up, he's 8 years older than me. So when I was, just getting to high school and, ending middle school and things like that, he was just, his professional career was really like starting. And he was so influential just because of the things that he did and the path that he went on. It just made my path and things so much easier because I was able to learn from his decisions and how he went about things and the things he was learning. In a lot of ways, I was a sounding board for him, as he was going through, the different ups and downs of, playing in Europe in different situations, agents, things like that. He was, teaching me, but he was also so when I'm in this position, I know how to go about different things and things like that. And, in a lot of cases, as we see now, the older brother, the little brother is sometimes better than the bigger brother just because of the, not nothing to do with talent, but just because of the lessons and the way they're able to go about their stuff. And that's why, I always preach his name because I know without him, I wouldn't be here. So I just, very thankful for him.
He helped you prepare for so many different things that were thrown your way. One of those was the Thunder having deep interest in you for a long time now. Can you maybe shed some light on maybe that backstory of the relationship between you and the Thunder front office?
Yeah. So when I was going through the process last year and things like that, it was just it happened so fast for me in a lot of ways. But, they were one of the first organizations that had been following me for a while. And from a scouting perspective and going through the process, meeting different teams, this pre-draft process, I did 20 workouts. No one's as intentional, as them. I didn't run across any organization that's as serious and as not the interest in me was there obviously, but just how they go about their business. How, I had people back home calling me yo, the Thunder just asked me about you, and it was an old teacher from who knows when, stuff like that. And they really did their homework on things like that. But I think that's where it started. And that level of interest, I don't know why they're that interested in me, but, I think what I bring to the table, and, my unique style of play is like something that they really, favor, and while other people may have a bunch of questions, those are the type of players they almost love to have. So it makes sense in a lot of ways. And that's how it all kind of went down.
Speaking of your unique style of play, they called you Do-It-All DJ at Weber State.
Yeah.
Clearly a lot of versatility out there on the floor. How much pride do you take in that element of your game?
A lot. And, for me, it's dope just because of when I was growing up trying to figure out what type of player I'm going to be, when I'm trying to find my identity as a player, I always wanted to be a multidimensional player. So that, I always would think like in college, like, when they do scout reports and things like that, if I'm only just a scorer, then they're going to be able to just pick that apart. If they take that away from me, then I can't even be on the floor. So I took pride in, learning how to do different things and add value in different ways. A lot of it comes from, too, just my path to get here. Like, I wasn't always a 20-point per game scorer, and when I was a senior in high school at Sunrise Christian, when I was around, my teammates was Kendall Brown, who plays at the Indiana, Shaedon Sharp.
Yeah.
We had a lot of top 100 guys. I wasn't one of the main options. And, I averaged like 3 points that year, but I like led the team in like every other statistical category. And, I took pride in that, and those are things that the almost I like to say the basketball guys like to reward, because, like doing that, there's no one that can tell you that, if you average 3 points in high school, that it'll like work out for you.
Right.
Yeah. But you got to have that faith that the right person gonna see it. And I just kind of kept that like mantra, like just do everything. Don't just be a one trick pony.
Yeah.
And hell, it's helped me get here. So, I'm thankful that I was able to see it like that.
You're really teeing up my next question here because the night of the draft, Sam Presti, the Thunder GM, he couldn't talk about you specifically because the trade wasn't through yet. But something that he said a lot in generalities here over the last week or two is we want all-out competitors in this building no matter what. And what you're describing out there is a guy that competes no matter what's on his plate that night.
Yeah.
Tell me about that aspect of your nature and what you bring to the floor in terms of that competitive streak and that locked in control.
It's from perspective, like when I was growing up, becoming a basketball player and things like that and going to Weber, I wasn't considered an NBA player. So like as I grew and ascended to that level, I never like lost focus of that. And, I always carried the chip, everybody say chip on your shoulder, but I always just use it as fuel. I always just did things that'll keep me going, every time I'll just find something new, it was many times like I just like throughout the whole process where I would just find things, like it would be probably something like small to people, but I would just like blow it up into like something that'll just like help me, motivate my next 2 weeks. And then after that, I'll find something else and then just let that motivate me. And, that's just kind of the competitiveness to me. I just keep that perspective because a lot of people, like if someone told you 4 years ago I would be here, they're not telling the truth. So I just try to keep that same mindset, like, don't lose that as you coming through because now when you're in the NBA, now it's like, okay, you ain't the best player. So like now what are you going to do? And that's a whole nother challenge and process. And, that's something I'm ready for.
Ready for it, and I know these Thunder fans are ready to see you out there on the floor. They know they're getting a competitive guy who is not afraid to go out there and work for everything out there on the floor. Dillon, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us here today. Great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dillon.
Yep.
All right, we are now joined by Ajay Mitchell. Ajay, we got a chance to talk to you out in the press conference room. You were not wearing a uniform out there. Since that moment, which was probably 10 minutes ago, you are now wearing the Thunder blue. I mean, what was that moment like for you?
It's crazy, especially even having my name on the jersey is just wow. Like it's a dream for me. So really, really happy. And I like the blue.
It looks good. Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
This is your first time actually wearing the Thunder jersey, but something you told us on the live stream a little bit earlier was that you got to sit down in the pre-draft process and be, kind of in a film session with Mark Daigneault, be in workouts. And we're just talking to Mark. He said, we want these guys that come in to be a Thunder player for a day. What do you remember about that? What did that feel like to be a Thunder player for a day?
I think, first of all, just meeting a lot of people, I think. And it felt like we knew each other for like years. I really felt like that connection was really quick with everyone. And I think for me, especially Coach doing the workout, the pre-draft workout to me was special. I think it was the only head coach doing that. So it was special. And I really felt like a Thunder player that day. So it was cool.
In the short time that you've gotten to spend with Coach Dagnall, what stands out about him and just what he brings to the table? I
think just the way he kind of loves to teach. I think in the workout, in the film session, I could really feel that he loves to teach, especially as players. So that's what it felt like. So it was pretty cool.
He has such an interesting journey because he was going to be an educator. I mean, he never thought that he would get to this point. And I imagine for maybe somebody who was at a mid-major, there's some part of you that wonders, am I ever going to get to the NBA? Is that going to be in the cards for me? You're going to find there's a roster full of guys who have defied the odds and been able to do that. How excited are you to join this group of guys that have that good, healthy chip on their shoulder and that hunger to continue their careers?
I'm so excited. I think there's a lot of guys that were in that position. And I think for me, it'll be really helpful to just know how they did it and what it takes. Having that chip on my shoulder, I think since I got to college, I've had it. So I think I'm really excited to use that even at this level.
AJ, I think one thing that stands out as one of the more interesting parts of your story is that you were born and essentially raised in Belgium. Just for those who don't know, what was that like for you? What's it like growing up in Belgium?
It's different. I think for me, especially Santa Barbara is totally different than Belgium.
You think? Yeah.
But I love Belgium. So I think best French fries are from Belgium.
Yeah, there you go.
Waffles, best waffles ever, and chocolate.
I heard great chocolate. Yeah.
So that's kind of what it was like. Is really just eating French fries.
That's awesome.
But then, seriously, like Belgium was a great place for me to live and grow up. So I'm really excited. Now I always wanted to go to college. My dad played college basketball. My sister, who's here, played college volleyball at Wisconsin. Then my brother played at NAIA school basketball.
Family of athletes.
And my other sister played volleyball too.
Wow.
So all athletes and all college athletes. So I always wanted to do that. So I was stoked when I got the first call to go to college.
Yeah, I mean, where do you even start with that process? Living in Belgium, that you want to come over to the United States to play college, but it's like, there's hundreds and hundreds of schools to potentially play at. How does that even begin?
I think, for me, it was first of all thinking about going there earlier, going there for high school, maybe like prep school. But it never really happened because I felt like I kind of had what it takes to be able to just go from Belgium straight to college. And so I think when I started getting recruited at 16 was when it started getting real, where I was like, okay, it's like it might really be happening. So I think it really pushed me to work harder and kind of always like get ready for college. And then my last year in Belgium, I played professional. So I think that really helped me just playing with older guys that know the game, seeing that IQ, and then learning from like veterans was really important. And then once I got to college, it was totally different. A great experience for me, but everything was different. The food is like totally different, and everything that comes with it. So it was fun, a fun adjustment. When I got to college, we had like 6 incoming freshmen, so it was pretty easy to kind of get into it. But I remember my first week and like the schedule, I would go to bed at like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. because I was so tired. So the first week was rough, and then kind of got used to it, and it was great. Great 3 years.
You spent exactly 3 years at UC Santa Barbara. What was it about that place, or even just how you felt there, that made you want to stay there?
It's a like beautiful campus. It's beautiful, but that really didn't play a part in it. I think for me, it was just kind of like that family style. I think once I got there, everyone welcomed me like I was one of their own. So I think that was really special to me. And the fact that Santa Barbara was the first school to believe in me, it really felt like I wanted to give back to them in any way I could. And when it was on the basketball court, it was just always remembering that was the first school. So no matter what happens, like always have that in mind.
Yeah. One of the things that we were talking about Mark earlier. One of the things he talks about with young players is just kind of continuing to put hurdles in front of them and see, if they can clear them, give them those opportunities. What were some that you felt like you cleared in college? And then maybe what are some that you maybe can envision for yourself already here at the NBA level that are kind of challenges laying out in front of you?
I think college for me, it was just, as a freshman and younger guy, just showing that you're ready to play. I think when I got to college, the first hurdle was my coach telling me, I don't know if you're going to play this year. You're going to have to prove me. So just always having that chip on my shoulder and knowing that I have to prove, nothing's going to be given to me. So I think that was one of the biggest things I've learned in college is no matter what happens, being ready and being ready to fight, honestly. And then I think at the next level, I think what I've learned a lot is being patient with myself. Obviously being competitive, working hard every day, but kind of what we talked about at Santa Barbara was honoring the process. So take it one day at a time and try to get better every day. So I'm excited about that.
Last thing for you, AJ, before we let you go. You're joining a team, obviously, that's had some success over this past season, a very close-knit team. What excites you the most about this opportunity that's in front of you here in Oklahoma City?
I think the whole organization is just great. And I think we have great people around and the team chemistry is great. So for me, it's just kind of being able to be part of that, to me is really, really exciting. And I think just being with the guys and then working hard every day, being competitive, but just really feeling like I'm part of it is going to be crazy.
I know Thunder fans are excited to see you out there as well, sporting that Thunder blue out there on the floor. All right, Ajay Mitchell, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
AJ.
you, guys.
It's always so great to get a chance to talk to the newest faces of the Thunder roster. Those guys are just so cool, so awesome, and great to see them in Thunder Blue as well. But there's also another new face in this Thunder organization. He wasn't a draft pick, but Alex Caruso, a new addition to this team.
Yeah, brought over in a trade, and not so new because he actually began his career in OKC with the OKC Blue. I had a great chance to sit down with him one-on-one, so take a listen to what he had to say about being back in OKC. I've got the newest member of the Thunder organization here inside the Thunder Ion, Alex Caruso, coming in via trade from Chicago, and yet obviously very familiar with this organization, having been here to start your professional journey. Alex, when you found out about the trade, what was going through your mind? How did you react in that moment? Obviously, I'm sure kind of caught you off guard. Trades don't normally happen at this stage of June.
Yeah, a little caught off guard, but took it in stride. I think once I heard that was Oklahoma City, I thought about all the relationships that I have with people that are still in the organization. Obviously Sam and then Mark, just a handful of people, probably 5 to 10 people that are still here. So was really excited, just to have the opportunity to come back here because I know how good of an organization this is and how well run it is. And then excited to play with the guys. I've watched from afar, and they look like they have a lot of fun playing the game, and that's something that I look forward to.
Yeah, there's so much continuity in this building, and one of the core values of this place is competitiveness, and that just brims off of you as a player. Maybe tell me about that aspect of your character, of your personality, and how that meshes with what you have seen goes on within these walls and how that translates on the court.
Yeah, I think that's just about, you want to chase greatness, you got to be competitive. You got to push yourself and you got to push your teammates. And I think that's something for me that even if I wanted to not do it, I couldn't. It's ingrained in me. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, to the best of my ability. And obviously, if that wasn't true, I wouldn't be sitting here with you 8 years later after signing Exhibit 10 with OKC to being on the team now. And then as far as basketball, just, excited to match the energy of the guys. I can tell from afar during the year that, obviously led by Shea, but, Lou, J-Dub, Chet, I can see all these guys have a hunger and have a competitiveness about them that's fun to watch.
There's a presence to them as well in terms of being in the moment. One of the things that you know very well from playing under Mark Daigneault is be where your feet are.
Yeah.
And tell me about maybe how that mantra helped shape your journey, your career, and maybe how remarkable it is that that's something that these guys live by. I mean, they talk about a 0-0 mentality all the time here in this building.
Yeah, that was something that, it's funny you say that because we used to have a 30-second pause right before practice with the blue, be where your feet are time, where it's just, no, you don't say anything. It's like you just got to do whatever you got to do to get your mind right for practice that day. And I think that stuck with me. I really do. I think I was just super present, whatever stage of my career and this journey that I've been on. Wherever it was for me, that's what I was focused on. I was focused on that team, those players, that coach, and then obviously myself to try and improve. And I think it's done great for me. I mean, obviously it's done pretty good. I'm here now, but, I have some accolades to show for it, for 7 years of hard work, and hopefully, many more to come.
Yeah, you've faced adversity in your career. You've been told no along the way, but you have people in this building who have believed in you since you were in college. Sam Presti talked the other day about how he would go and scout all these games, and he wouldn't be there necessarily to see you, but every time he'd watch a game, you'd be the best player on the floor, and that really stuck with him. Do you remember anything about some of your first encounters with the Thunder organization and Sam, and kind of maybe an initial belief in what you could be? Yeah,
I think, just the fact that they were willing to bring me in on Exhibit 10 and let me play on the G League team just showed that, they thought that I, with a little bit of hard work and some resiliency, that I could make something of myself. And it looks like, they turned out to be correct. So, Sam's one of the best in the game at what he does. If he sees something, it's probably true. And, he might have even seen something maybe before I did in myself, at least this far down the path. But, thankful obviously for the opportunity, and I took it and ran with it, and still to this day, trying to be present, trying to keep getting better. That's kind of what I'm focused on.
Yeah, and ultimately it does come down to you and what you've done. Maybe take me into your work ethic, what you do in the off seasons, what you do during the seasons to prepare your mind and your body to be an all defensive player, all defensive team caliber player, and what you've done to round out your game as well as a shooter and playmaker and distributor.
Yeah, it's been the same thing year after year, and I'm just stacking hours, stacking days. That's really all you can do. There's no secret formula to it. There's not something. I wish there was. I would have been here a lot earlier, and we could have been sitting down a couple of years ago. But you just got to show up to work every day. I think that's as simple as it gets. And I think for me, learning that lesson, being undrafted, going through the G League, to getting into the NBA, being around pros when I was young in the NBA, you see what the work ethic really is. And for me, at this point, 30, I've been in the league for 7 years. Like, I know what works for me, and I plan out my summers accordingly, get to work, play a little golf, and then during the year, be a good teammate, take care of my body, all the stuff that equates to success.
Your mindset of stacking days is going to be ringing true to the people here in Oklahoma. It's something that these guys talk about in this building all the time. How excited are you to get with these players, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren, to grow collectively as a unit?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like we talked about earlier, I'm a super competitive guy. I know from playing against these guys that that's how they operate. There was times where they were down against whatever team I was on in the past, and they had some type of heart or resiliency that they showed and came out and either won the game or had a chance to win it. So I'm excited to be on the same team, moving in the same direction instead of, battling against them, just because I can tell that they stand for the things that I want to stand for, and it looks like they have fun playing the game, which is something that I love to do.
You're a shoot, drive, pass guy on offense. You're a lockdown defender on defense, one-on-one and off the ball. Just initially, from kind of a scheme and X and O standpoint, what do you envision in terms of your ability to impact things within the system that is in place here?
Yeah, I mean, whatever they want me to do, that's what I'm going to do. That's kind of always been the status quo for me, is whatever the team needs is what I'm going to get done. A lot of guard-to-guard actions. I know just from guarding that how tough it is. Just playing ahead of the defense, I think, is something that I do well. Whether it's a pass, like you said, pass, drive, shoot, whatever the option is, just being ready to play on offense, and then obviously defensively, just bringing that mentality, bringing it night in, night out, pulling guys along whenever they might need it, and then hopefully the opposite when I need it some nights.
Last thing for you, you got an off season ahead, a lot of time before you guys get to really lace them up. What's key for you moving forward? What are you going to be doing, spending your time on this off season?
Yeah, I'm back home in Austin, just working on my game, everything again. You know, there's not one thing that I that goes untouched during the off season, whether it's, you know, my body, getting up enough shots just because the way the game is, taking threes, working on decision making as a ball handler, and then my mind too, just making sure that I'm rehabilitating my mental health and making sure that I come back fresh and hungry at the beginning of every year.
A hard hat, no nonsense kind of competitor. These fans in Oklahoma City are going to love Alex Caruso. Welcome back to OKC.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
It's always so interesting because Alex Caruso started his basketball journey here in Oklahoma City with the OKC Blue, playing for Mark Dagnall, and now full circle moment, both of those guys teamed up yet again this season.
Incredible player development story, and that's something that the Thunder organization prides itself on. This is a player in Caruso who has made himself into an all-defensive team player, a 40+% shooter from behind the three-point line, and a guy that is just an ultimate competitor.
Yeah, a guy who's going to fit in very seamlessly out there with this competitive, hardworking Thunder group. Not scared to get his jersey dirty out there on the floor.
No tuxedos on.
That's right.
Yeah.
No tuxedos with Alex Caruso. All right, before we let you go, let's give you what's coming up for this Thunder team. First things first, Summer League right around the corner. The Thunder will be participating in the Salt Lake City Summer League. That is July 8th through the 10th. And then, as always, participating in the Las Vegas Summer League. The Thunder will have 4 games at the bare minimum. They'll have a 5th game as well, but we don't know when that game is actually going to happen until after they play the first 4 games.
Yeah, and we'll have full coverage for you in both of those places. We're actually broadcasting on WWSS Sports Animal the games out in Salt Lake City, so be sure to tune in there. And then keep your eyes out for free agency as well. That starts next week.
A lot going on here, so keep your eyes peeled on OKCThunder.com and at OKC Thunder on all social channels. But that wraps us up here in the introductory draft press conference. Always such an exciting day in this organization. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and listening. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much to our producer, Matt Bishop. And until next time, Thunder up and catch you later.